Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that affects, well, pretty much everyone. Staying calm when everything inside you is screaming panic.
Mm,
Our mission is to take a really deep look at the nervous system, that biological machine running your reactions, and pull out some actual practical strategies you can use for better health and focus.
yeah, we're exploring that constant tension.
That razor-thin line, right,
Mhm.
between deep relaxation on one side and this, explosive arousal on the other.
Because how you manage that balance really determines everything.
It does. Whether you're walking into a huge presentation or, and this is the lens our sources use today, lining up a critical shot in competitive golf.
Exactly. We're looking at the neuroscience of focus under duress.
Right.
And the core problem, backed by all the research, is that when the nervous system gets overloaded, concentration doesn't just dip, it falls off a cliff.
Overloaded from what, though? Anxiety.
It could be anxiety, pushing yourself
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
or something as simple as seeing your name pop up on a leaderboard.
Mm.
And the reason is purely physiological. Your neurons just start firing way too fast, and it floods the whole system. You lose all precision.
Okay, let's make that feeling, that internal rush, really relatable. I love this story from the sources.
The one from 1936.
Yeah, it's 1936 at the Greenbrier. A new player is trying to break into the golf business, and they set up this match for him with the local pros.
And the nerves hit him hard.
Instantly. He said he bent over on the first tee and needed both hands just to get the ball to stay on the tee.
Wow.
He said the ball looked blurry, and his nerves were, and this is the quote I love, they were hopping.
That is the perfect description. It's the sympathetic system in complete, total control.
Systemic overload.
Total overload.
Yeah.
But the amazing part is he was prepared for this. He had a mental counter move ready.
And it wasn't about, gritting your teeth or trying harder.
No, it was the exact opposite. The technique was to just let the mind rest, to not think of anything in particular.
That kind of daydreaming.
An act of daydreaming, yeah.
Yeah.
Picturing all the good drives he ever made, focusing on that feeling, not on forcing a perfect thought.
That's so interesting because you might think that's intense concentration, but the source says it's the trick of not thinking at all.
Mm-hmm.
But wait a minute. If he's visualizing good drives, isn't that a kind of future thinking? Thinking about the outcome you want? And we're told that can increase arousal.
That's a really critical distinction.
Okay.
The key is that he was focusing on the feeling of a successful movement, the process, not the score, not the outcome. Worrying about the score, that's a threat to the ego. Daydreaming about the feeling of a powerful swing, that's a positive physical rehearsal. It gives your mind a simple story to follow instead of letting it spiral.
And the result of that little mental switch,
A 280-yard drive blew it right past the other guys.
that is the power of intentional calm. So let's unpack this. How do we get from that state of nervous hopping to that powerful, calm, daydreaming state? Not just in golf, but every day.
To build that control, we first have to understand the battlefield.
The nervous system itself.
Right, the autonomic nervous system. It's the part that manages all your involuntary stuff, heart rate, breathing.
And it has two modes, basically.
Two modes. You have the sympathetic system, which is your accelerator, fight or flight.
Or the parasympathetic.
The parasympathetic, that's your break, rest and relaxation. And we all kind of inherit a style, a tendency towards one or the other that then gets shaped by our experiences.
So the problem with arousal with that accelerator is that it's not just one thing. It's a chain reaction.
It is. It's a whole cascade.
Yeah.
The second your brain senses danger real or imagined neurochemicals, trigger everything at once.
Heart rate up, blood pressure up.
Muscle tone increases, breathing gets faster. But the crucial insight here is that because it's a chain, you can influence the whole thing by changing just one link.
Like you're breathing.
Exactly. Consciously slow your breathing, and you send a physical signal back to the brain that calms everything else down.
Okay, this is where it gets really counterintuitive. We think of arousal as being triggered by negative things, by stress, but the sources point to four big causes. You've got the obvious ones. Fear, so threats of failure. You have anger from, blocked goals. Future thinking, worrying about outcomes.
Right.
But the fourth one is the real paradox. It's excitement from doing well.
That is the excitement paradox, and it is so important for high performers to get this.
How does that work?
Excitement produces the exact same neurochemical state, the same physiological arousal, as acute fear.
No way. The same.
The very same. It's an elevated, rapid-firing state. If you don't manage it, it can disrupt your precision just as much as fear can. Top players actually learn to avoid getting too juiced up early on.
The sources had that great example of a player who saw he was tied for the lead.
Yes, saw it on a scoreboard, got that huge jolt of excitement, and immediately hit the worst, most rushed shot of his tournament. His system was just moving too fast.
And that high arousal, it doesn't just stay on the course, does it? It spills over.
It spills over into everything. It affects your sleep. You get insomnia, racing thoughts at night. It causes chronic tension, which can lead to ulcers, migraines, neck pain.
And it just tanks your performance because you start rushing everything.
Everything. Your swing tempo, how fast you talk, your transitions. We even see it when players rush to get to the course. They almost always play better on the back nine.
Because that's when they've finally slowed down and are actually mentally present.
Exactly. The number one marker of debilitating stress is the loss of control. If you're rushing, worrying about what others think, fearing outcomes, you're not in control.
And performance drops.
Right. Those who fear failure, they rush. They change their routine. Those who embrace opportunity, they manage their pace. They stay focused.
So if that's the problem, this natural rush to arousal, we need tools. We need intentional, practical ways to consciously hit the brakes.
We do. And the sources lay out this amazing system of 9 strategies that all work together. It's not just a Band-Aid.
It's about actively hitting that parasympathetic brake.
Let's start with strategy 1, breathing.
The most direct one.
The most direct and immediate link to your nervous system. A relaxed person breathes deeply, slowly from the diaphragm.
And there's a specific technique here that's really key.
There is. It's deep diaphragmatic breathing, where the exhalation lasts twice as long as the inhalation.
A 2-to-1 ratio.
That 2.1 ratio is everything. The long exhale stimulates the vagus nerve, which is the primary messenger for that parasympathetic system. You are literally physically engaging the brake.
And they even give a way to measure this. A relaxed state is what, 3 to 5 breaths in 30 seconds?
That's right, just 3 to 5. And the advice is to practice this deep breathing, body scans like 60 or 70 times a day.
Not just when you're stressed.
No, using normal cues, walking through a door, hitting the brakes in your car, any little transition. That's how you retrain the whole system.
Okay, what's next? Strategy 2.
Movement. Your internal pace is reflected in your external movement. Arousal pickens everything.
So the fix is to intentionally slow down.
Intentionally slow your movement. It's not about being lazy, it's about being deliberate. Walk slower between tasks. Handle your equipment smoothly. It tells your nervous system there's no danger.
It helps you keep your rhythm. I love the drill they mentioned. For any repetitive task, really, you just count the tempo.
Yes. 1 for the backswing, 2 for the transition, 3 for impact.
You're slowing your internal clock to stabilize your entire system. Okay, so we've controlled breath and movement. What about the noise inside our heads? That brings us to strategy 3. Focused thought. Or mindfulness.
Mindfulness is just being 100% present, letting go of the future, letting go of the past. On the course, that means focusing only on the shot at hand.
And they have a great tool for that, the self-talk, the narration.
Exactly. You narrate your actions. I'm checking the wind. I'm feeling the grip. I'm committing to this line. It keeps your attention from wandering.
You see the difference immediately. When a pro feels their concentration drift, what do?
They step away. They reset the entire routine. They don't force it.
Whereas the amateur just
hits it and hopes, rushes right through the panic.
Okay, on to number 4.
Strategy 4 is visualization. This is a huge programming tool for the brain, but it can't just be a picture.
It has to be multisensory.
Right. It has to be clear. You need to hear the sound of success. And this is critical, you have to feel the motion, that kinesthetic sense.
Because when we're anxious, our mind defaults to imagining everything going wrong.
Exactly. Visualization reverses that. It builds mental certainty and connects your intention directly to your action. It's a blueprint for success.
Okay, so we have all these tools, but we need an anchor, right? Something to hold it all together under pressure. That's strategy 5, routine.
The routine is your structure. It's what prevents rushing. It's a dependable process to manage nerves. And it should have 4 steps.
Evaluation, decision, commitment.
And action. Evaluation is analyzing the situation. Decision is the plan. Commitment is locking in that final visual image. And action is the breath, the motion, the execution.
All right, what about physical tension? Strategy 6, stretching.
This is so much more than a warm-up. It's a way to physically release the tension that just builds up without you even noticing.
Especially where? Neck, shoulders.
Neck, jaw, shoulders, forearms. Releasing the muscles at the base of your skull, for instance, sends a direct signal to the sympathetic system to stand down. It's a moment of mindfulness.
Which falls right into strategy 7, posture.
Posture is a direct line of communication to your nervous system.
Slumped over means tired, doubtful.
Exactly. And physiologically, it restricts your breathing. Upright posture signals confidence, control, and it literally opens up your chest for deep breaths. A quick posture check should be part of every routine.
Okay, 8, biofeedback. This sounds technical.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. At its simplest, it's just using awareness to gain conscious control over things that are normally involuntary.
Like your heart rate.
Like your heart rate. The goal is to link awareness to action. You notice your heart rate spike. Okay? You consciously respond with a slow exhale to engage that parasympathetic brake. You're turning an unconscious reaction into a conscious choice.
Which is the whole point. All right, the last one. Strategy 9, confidence.
And this isn't arrogance. It's a stable, earned belief in your ability.
It's built through preparation.
Meticulous preparation and stacking up small successes. But ultimately, confidence is a choice. You reinforce it with positive, process-focused self-talk. I've done this before. Trust the routine.
And the sources make a great point here. True confidence isn't about seeking a perfect outcome.
No. It's about accepting imperfection and committing fully to the action anyway.
Yeah.
You trust the system you've built.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? We started with this complex biology, these sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves, and we've ended with a system of 9 tools. For me, the core idea is being absolutely deliberate. It's about consciously slowing down physically and mentally.
Controlling your breath, your movements, your focus.
And when you do that, you move from that chaotic, rushed anxiety into a focused, rhythmic state where you can actually perform.
That's the final synthesis. Whether you're hitting a golf ball or leading a meeting, managing arousal is the foundation. It leads to better performance, better health, a more balanced life.
It's the difference between being paralyzed by fear
and embracing opportunity with a calm certainty. It all comes down to controlling what you can control. Your breath, your pace, your process.
So here's the final thought for you to take away. The sources say that, quote, future-focused individuals live in mental anticipation, and that this low-level rushing and worrying is constantly accelerating your arousal, even when you're just, say, in the shower or driving. It's training your nervous system to be chronically on high alert. So consider this. If the goal is to use that idea of biofeedback to train your awareness and gain control, what specific non-critical activity in your normal daily routine, maybe waiting in line, riding an elevator, listening to your coffee brew, could you choose to slow down and actively measure your physical state today, just by counting your heart rate or a number of breaths? To begin linking that awareness to a conscious calm, that simple act of measurement, that's the first step to reclaiming control when the pressure is really on.